Vision, the future of church. I'm not saying that this is the end-all answer to growing a church. I'm saying it's one of the things we can use, a tool that we can use for the future. And we're going to build upon that. Various items like video, lighting, drama, sound, all working together and working as a team. Why are we here? This video will tell you why we're here. Salt. For years I've struggled with that concept of salt losing its saltiness. What does that mean? I mean, salt can't lose its saltiness. But that's not what Jesus is talking about. He's talking about us flavouring an unpalatable gospel. The gospel itself, to many in the world, is unpalatable. It's like cardboard. Jesus goes on to talk about the bread of life. If we don't flavour bread, if we don't put salt into it, it's like cardboard to the world. And that's what we need to do. Just like you make a casserole, you put salt in it to add flavour, to make it palatable. If you put too much salt in, you make it unpalatable. So there's a balance that needs to be done. And that's what Jesus is talking about. We need to be salt to the world to make the gospel palatable to friends, families, neighbours, etc. When we were in Nashville at the WFX conference, we came across two words that we use all the time. And that's for us to be authentic to the truth, the Evangelion, the gospel, the good news, and excellence. Whatever we do, we must do with excellence. If we don't, we dishonour God. And often we can't do it on the cheap. If we do it on the cheap, if we do it not quite to the best of our abilities, we dishonour God. I don't want to put it any other way. I think that's, at times I've been to conferences and you think, please, you just do it a little bit better. It would be so much better. And actually, when the world looks at what we do as a concert or anything like that, they judge us by the world standards. And if we do anything less, and if we're not as good as, that reflects on Jesus. Sorry, but it does. I think we need to do everything to the best of our abilities. Now, that doesn't mean that we'll always get it right. But it does mean if we can do it to the best of our abilities, and if it does cost money, let's make it happen anyway. Let's put money into it. Now, interesting. I came across an article last week in the Times. I'm a Times reader, and there's been a recent survey. Guess what? That's a true statement now. That's what was reported. For the first time, there are more people who now class themselves as non-religious than religious. The fastest growing religion in this country is Islam. The fastest declining religion in this country is Christianity. The Mormons are actually growing at a faster rate than we are, surprisingly enough. Now, I'm not saying all churches have got a problem. I think when you look at some of the Church of England and the Methodists, I think they have fundamental problems in their leadership, etc. I think that's something up to them to change. But I can see that some of them are changing. The independent churches are the ones who are actually growing because they're flexible. They can move into their community easier and do things. Now, one of my favourites. Quote from a non-church goer. His article was quite an eye-opener. Now, when I tell you who this guy is, you're going to have quite a surprise. But he goes on to say he went to his Church of England, typical Church of England, and he went going, "Oh, here we go. I'm doing my Christmas thing." And they had a gospel choir, and the church, as he puts it, rocked. And he said for the first time he enjoyed church. It wasn't a sufferance. Jeremy Clarkson. He summed up the problem in church. Why is it that we have to suffer in church? Why is it that we have to make it dull, dead and boring? The most exciting, the most life-changing message, the most exciting, the best book that's ever been produced, the best-selling book of all time, and we've managed to turn it into a dull thing. We make it dull. It's exciting. It's an exciting life. If you look at the early church, and I've looked at the early church's history, they had excitement, passion, drive. And people are attracted to people who've got drive and passion and excitable.
But they also made them feel guilty. That's what St. Peter did on Pentecost Sunday, didn't he? He said, "You've crucified the Christ." And they said, "What should we do to be saved?"
And you see, when he was talking to them, he was talking to Jews. Yeah. And that's quite significant. When you look at Paul does the most amazing. There's two scriptures, I think, are completely missed. And actually, Paul, our pastor, said about them last week. The first one is Paul goes to the Acropolis. And what's the first thing he does? He doesn't stand there going, "Right, I'm going to quote from Matthew." Because he doesn't have a Bible.
Yeah.
What he does, "I know that unknown God." And the Greeks go, "Who is he?" Straight away, because the Greeks were absolutely paranoid about these gods. They daren't upset a god. So they had statues to unknown gods. That's why they had them. But he uses their fear to get their attention.
And their culture.
And their culture. Exactly right. And that's how we've got to do it. Sometimes we have to use people's fears. Sometimes we have to use their likes. Sometimes we have to use their gods. Whatever it takes, we have to be adjustable and adaptable. There is no one way of getting around. Now, when we come to producing media, I'm going to give a few examples here, and I'm going to be quite controversial. I'm probably going to get some flack, but I don't care. I'm used to it. The first one is the advert that went out by the Church of England.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
Forgive us our trespasses,
as we forgive those
who sin against us.
And lead us not into temptation.
For thine is the kingdom, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Comments. What do you think about that? As an advert.
I can't see the problem with it.
Right. Now, if Paul Dore was here, I bet he'd know exactly what he'd be saying, exactly the same as I would. What you need to do is you need to switch now from 180 degrees. You are now a non-Christian, you watch that. Advertising is about creating desire.
Yeah.
Advertising is about creating desire. When you see adverts, it's about making you desire something, to go out, buy it, to go to it and see it. It's about desire. The problem is with that, it doesn't do any of that. The snag is, it doesn't tell you what the advantage of having prayer is. If it said, oh, I pray about you being ill or finances, that would be different. Because you'd have something you go, perhaps that could help me. Do you see the difference?
I don't see with that advert, I don't see the relevance of each picture of these people individually saying this one-liner.
Yeah.
I was looking at it from a person who doesn't know the Lord, and I couldn't see the relevance of somebody driving along and saying that one-liner and what have you.
I see it as different walks of life. There was policemen, there was people in the street, people having full immersion baptism, evangelical. So I think they covered all angles of Christianity rather than just one angle of sitting in a church building.
The problem is with it is that that's okay because you're a Christian, so you know
we understand
the Lord's
the
prayer when it comes in handy and when it doesn't. But
I think it's
as a non-Christian who doesn't believe in God, that's just absolutely pointless.
I think because that's
something that would personally entice me in an advert would be something fast-paced, possibly funny, action, or sort of sarcasm, that end of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm now going to show you advert number 2.
Can I just say, I think the reason why they made it like that, and I know which film that it was meant to be put in before, obviously being a fate, Star Wars. Everybody knows the Lord's Prayer. Even if you're not non-religious, you know the Lord's Prayer.
They don't know, Dave.
They don't actually, Dave.
Don't they?
No, the survey has recently shown that I think it's only about 20% of this nation actually know the Lord's Prayer.
I think I can see what they were trying to do, as you say, Dave. They were trying to bring all different people from walks of life, all in together. But I don't think it's doing what it's supposed to do.
It actually worked better by having it banned by the cinemas. It actually gave it more.
Yeah, but you see, actually,
relevance getting it banned.
But most people who actually went to see they did a survey of people who actually viewed it online, and most of them were Christians. And if you look at the comments, I had looked through all the comments underneath if you're on YouTube, and it's quite interesting because when the atheists get on there, there's a few atheists said, "Well, I don't care if you want to put it on, fine." But a few of them said, "Why are you doing this? It doesn't tell me anything."
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I want to show you advert number 2. Now, and there's a reason why I want to show this. I love this advert.
It was Christmas Eve, and everyone in the Thomas family was dreaming sweet dreams. Nicky and Debbie were dreaming about what Santa would bring them. Mr. Thomas was dreaming of a new bat. Mrs. Thomas was dreaming of something else. Finally, of course, we have Mog. Mog was not dreaming sweet dreams. Mog was having a nightmare. neighbours gathered, the fireman told everyone how Mog had saved the day.
She deserves a medal.
I think she'd rather have an egg.
But there was no egg for Mog. There was no Christmas at all. At least that's what they thought. But everyone else thought if the Thomases and Mog can't have a Christmas, they can share ours. So that's exactly what they all did.
There you go, Mog.
Right. Now, what's the difference between the two? One tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah, one comes
You see, you get drawn into the story. Right. If I had a choice of what film to put out before Christmas, and by the way, I did a quick little survey. I was at St Andrew's Church, and they got a cafe area and get lots of people coming in and out. And I took my little tablet with me, and I actually showed people Lord's Prayer and Mog the Cat. And I said to the Christians who were there, which one do you prefer? And they all went, oh, Lord's Prayer. But I asked the second people, and I said, which one do you prefer? They said, Mog the Cat. And I said, which one reflects Christmas? And they all said, Mog the Cat. I wish the church had put Mog the Cat out. It would have had a far better and more profound effect. Now, that's two adverts. And can Christians get it right? Yes, they can. Some of you may have seen this, some of you may not.
You. Look at your eyes. Look at them. Speckled, colorful, each one unique. And I created every one of them. I created everything. The universe and you. I gave you your personality. I made you pure, complex. And every day, I give you life. I love you. But something happened. You cheated on me. You didn't trust me. You sinned. You cut yourself off from me. And although you're still alive, you were slowly dying. So you looked for other things. To fill the void. But nothing works. It just kills you faster. And it separates us more and more. What are you searching for? I don't want you to die. I created you, not to be destroyed, but to know me. So I became one of you, a fragile creation. I was tempted, but I never sinned. I came to save you. You have so many sins. And they have a cost. Someone has to die. You or me. So I took on your sin and traded in my life for yours. And I died in your place. Because I love you. Then Jesus. I'm not here to condemn you. I came to bring you back to life. Rely on me. I will forgive you and give you eternal life. I love you. And I did all of this to have a relationship with you. Will you follow me?
Obviously, that was even more powerful.
It is, isn't it?
Definitely works better than the very first one.
Yeah. You see, this is the power of media. You are immediately drawn into it. Now, what we want, Paul and I want to encourage you, I mean, we've got the kit, but we want to encourage you to start thinking about doing media, about doing art, doing poetry, to do drama, etc., etc., etc. And there are things that we can do quite easily. Now, recently we did a nativity play. Now, I was in London, in a chapel up there, and sadly, we had two dusty, black-clad female vicars, and they were dressed in black from there down. Collars, full gowns in black. And they did a nativity play. And I was up in the balcony and I watched this. And I thought, those kids look bored. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out to my van just as they're leaving, because I want to hear what those kids are saying. And instead of going out there and going, wow, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Wow, that was a great story. It was, let's get back to class. Let's get our iPads out and whatever. They weren't interested. It had completely gone straight over the top of their heads. And it was such a shame. It's so easy to do. And a couple of years ago, at a local primary school, they had this group of people came in there and they did a nativity play. And they hadn't even learned the lines because they were reading them off a board. And they were reading it exactly as it is in I think they were using Matthew. And sadly, they didn't put any drama into it. It was, and I am Joseph. And it was like that, very monotone. And the kids were like, and you could see their eyes were rolling. They were bored. You've got to make it exciting. And for me, this is an idea.
Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. And the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end. Upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from that time forward, even forever.
This is how the birth of Jesus the Messiah came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law, and yet did not want to expose her to public disgrace, he had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said,
Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you ought to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins.
Could we do that?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And if we get a reputation for doing things like this Because technically that is nothing in there that we can't do. That is extremely easy. The film they're using in the background is called Nativity. We've got a copy of it. We've got. We could talk to you about this, about getting media, etc., etc. There is ways of doing it. There's nothing technically difficult about what they did. It's very easy to do, but it's very exciting. And I think we could get. I think there would be schools would be interested in coming. I just really think that we could do this for next year quite easily.
Could you actually take it into school?
No, this has got to be done because it's a set thing. It's this is
Some
projection.
schools are not made to.
No, I was just thinking something like
pick one.
St Peter's, which is Roman Catholic, who accept. Christianity.
With the nativity, do we? Not modernise it, make it sort of relevant to modern taste. Or because kids like visual things now.
Well, that's why it's very nice about that, because you've got the modern and the old. Yeah. They are telling you they've got the videos in the back, they've got the stars and the rest of it. And we can show you the rest of the video. Actually, it's quite long. It's a lot longer than that. But it's how dramatic it is. That's where the angel is, by the way. That's their baptismal pool. We were there. Oh yeah, we were there. They baptised 2 people in that.
Yeah.
But that effect, all they've done is put 2 lights into the bottom, smoke machine, and the sign on the outside is a projector. That is technically very simple. Oh, I'm sorry, but we could do that so easily. And the thing is, it's the wow factor, because people in there. I talked to somebody, and apparently they was like, oh, yeah.
You've got to, as a church, think outside the box occasionally.
Most of
the time, as a church, and then as a faith, now we've got to start thinking outside the box. How can we visualise it and grab hold of people on the streets?
This is why video. Video is a very powerful element. It's a very powerful medium, and we're going to be talking about that and using it, and we want to use it far more. It's like, for instance, I'll give you a good example in church. When somebody gets a testimony, I don't think we should do it on stage anymore. I think it should be filmed. By the way, Nikki's News, I've shown a couple of churches, and they love it. Pastor G's church, right? He said he's going to come down one day. He wants to meet you. Because they do a very similar thing now. They actually meet in the cinema. So they've done this.
They gave us the idea.
They gave us so it's just but they love the idea, the concept of it. So
it's funny because although we see it every week, it never ceases to make me smile.
Well, that's how it should be. That should be there when we record it.
It's before
someone's standing up in the pulpit giving out notices. You switch off.
Yes, exactly.
When you see Nikki on screen, and every single week we're thinking in the back room, how can we make Nikki laugh a bit more? You know what I mean? And don't we, Nikki? We try all sorts.
From the dark side we have.
Yeah.
That Nikki's News has actually had influences on other churches. See, we as a church can influence other churches. And this church is already doing that. We've got other churches looking on Facebook. They're keeping an eye on us. They want to see what we're doing. It's like drama. I was just going to say, Dave, going to move on because he's got a fair bit to go.
I was going to just say, why can't we do a video, like a reverse psychology video?
Exactly. It's got lots and lots and lots of ideas.
A world without Jesus and God. What would it be like? The chaos and anarchy.
Yeah, no rules, no laws, morality. Drama. I would love us as a church to start doing more drama. To do plays, short sketches. Right, I'm going to tell you a funny story. As most of you know my testimony, I was born again in prison. I went down to Lay Hill Prison, and a friend of mine down there, he was the producer for these EastEnders. And we decided to do a sketch. And I was at the back of the church with a handheld microphone. And he walks up the front, and you can imagine this, because Mike was a very well-spoken Englishman. And he went, God, God, and I went, yes. dancers in. But it was lovely. We used to do a couple of sketches down there, and they worked really well. And, you know, for a lot of prisoners, it was surprisingly good.
What about, like, you know, you'll probably remember, like, Alas Smith and Jones, where they did just the two faces, facing each other, doing a sketch like that.
There's lots of things
that
we
is
can
so
do.
that is so easy, you know, given the arguments for and against.
Well, this is it. We need people to start writing these things down, start to move forward on it. Another thing that's quite ignored in church, poetry.
Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. There wasn't that a dainty dish set before the king.
So that's the original, traditional poetry. Now this is the one that's been rewritten.
Sing a song to Jesus, your rock and Lord most high. Or if any lack words, make this your cry. May my eyes be opened, may words of praise I sing. Because, though not a saint, I wish to let my Lord be king.
We can take lyrics from the world. You know, I know I do downtown folk. It's, you know, I love it because what they've done is taken a secular song and they changed it and put Christian words onto it.
Song?
Uptown Funk.
I was going to say
Uptown Funk, not Downtown. But the interesting thing is there, William Booth went into the pubs and took the songs in the pubs and then revamped them. So it's not new. No. William Booth was doing it. Why can't we? Why can't we take some of the things that they do and use? There's nothing wrong with that. The poetry is good. Mandy, dance. It is so, so good. I can't dance to save my life. I've got no rhythm. I'm sorry. Typical white man. But it is so good. I've seen some really powerful dance over the years. And if it's done properly, and it can be really, really effective. We'll be looking at something a bit more about that. Art. What is wrong with Christian art? I go to CRE and I look at some of the arts there and I think, it's from the 1970s. Can we have, I mean, look, let's look at the history, right? For 2,000 years, the best art in the world was Christian. It was phenomenal. No matter where you go, the best art in the world is Christian, or Christian-inspired, or painted by Christians. Why have we stopped? Why have we suddenly come to an abrupt halt? Why aren't we creating new art? Why can't we put art up in our church? You know, when we come into that building we got at the moment, I would actually have the walls painted. Let's do something.
My mum was very good at that.
Exactly. That's what we want. We want people to come in and go, whoa, that's amazing.
You could do sort of canvases.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On big canvases and hang them, you know, and make them abstract and get people thinking, looking at them and thinking, okay, what's this about? And then asking the question, going up and looking at it like a little plate afterwards.